Something strange is going on. As we all know now, the Mark Williams trade was canceled by the Lakers due to a failed physical, but a brand new report has dropped revealing some potential beef between Luka Doncic and LeBron James following the Lakers' immediate action after Luka Doncic requested for them to trade for a center. We're going to break down these interesting reports and discuss what it means going forward, as Lakers fans are both confused and a little bit intrigued by these reports. So stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the 86% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. If you're enjoying the daily Lakers content, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. That is the next goal. If you guys want to help us towards it, we're producing daily Lakers content, multiple videos a day for you all, keeping you up to date with all the latest news. Now, as we all know, make sure to smash that subscribe button. But as we all know, Luka Doncic is making his Lakers debut very, very shortly in a couple of hours, about 3 hours as of the time of recording here. And what that means is that we're finally going to see Luka and LeBron in action. But reports came out today with some very interesting information surrounding the trade, both for Mark Williams and what it means towards some potential beef between LeBron James and the front office. Let's dive into it here. So, this dropped today. LeBron James and his camp took notice of how quickly the Lakers traded their picks to appease Luka, but for years did nothing when LeBron would ask. He went on to say, what is clear is that Doncic will have a say, and it wasn't lost on James. His camp sources said that Pelinka prioritized Doncic's development upon his arrival and immediately engaged in the Williams trade that he'd asked for, when James had for years wanted the team to trade its picks to improve its roster. So I believe this is from Dave McMenamin, and there's an interesting there's a bunch of different things to go over with this. So this article that he dropped with a bunch of reports in it basically just described how the trade went down from start to finish. Now, as of this, we also have Rob Pelinka calling out the Hornets owner a little bit, so and the GM. So stay tuned for that a little bit later. But as you start to think about this now, things are getting extremely interesting because we know that Rob Pelinka immediately, he kept talking about how the trade would fit Luka Doncic's timeline, how he's willing to make the trade. And you can see this here, and there's been some interesting fan reaction. So again, the report is, what is clear is Doncic will have a say, like I just said. And you can see this here. This is some nasty, or some people are upset with the writer. And keep in mind, this is Dave McMenamin. Now, whether you like him or not, keep in mind that is Dave McMenamin. He's been biased at times towards and against the Lakers. So he said, yes, this is some nasty writing by Dave. Doncic will have a say, as did Davis, but the way you're wording it, it sounds like you're trying to pin the two against each other for power within the Lakers organization. And that's what it seems to be, at least seemed to be the goal of this article, is that it makes it almost seem like there's beef between Doncic and LeBron because LeBron feels like, okay, Luka just got here, he has more power, whereas LeBron is, his camp supposedly is a little bit upset that Luka got his way immediately. I am hesitant to believe that LeBron James has any care in the world about the fact that Luka Doncic, one of the best players in the league at 25 years old, the next superstar in the league, and especially the next superstar for the Lakers, that LeBron would be upset with the fact that he requested a trade for a center and they went out and got him. Like, for a few different reasons. For one, of course they were going to trade for a center. If Luka hadn't asked for a trade for a center, it still would have happened because they gave up Anthony Davis. You think back to when LeBron joined the Lakers, he was one of the biggest advocates in pushing for the trade for Anthony Davis, and they went out and got it done. So I think this is some pretty interesting reporting by David McMenamin here, but it has fans fired up, and something weird is going on, whether it be through the reporting. But he does say, sources say within LeBron James' camp, that LeBron James' camp is a little bit uneasy about it. You can see this here. They took notice most clearly of how quickly the Lakers traded the picks to appease Luka while LeBron had to wait for years. So, I mean, it's extremely interesting. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on this, because things like this always happen. But for this to come out from a pretty notable reporter in Dave McMenamin is extremely interesting, because I do not think that there is going to be any beef or any, uneasy feelings between Luka and LeBron. All signs have pointed to LeBron being extremely happy that Luka is there. They're sitting next to each other, obviously, over the past couple of games. When Luka's been out, whether LeBron's been playing or in yesterday's or a couple nights ago's game, when, of course, he wasn't playing, they were still sitting next to each other. So things are just getting very weird with the situation. And the fact that all this, this article drops the day of the debut between Luka and LeBron is both weird and interesting. And couple of other things to go over here. You talk about that trade and what went into it. You had Rob Pelinka come out, which is even a bit rarer, and call out the Hornets front office. Now, if you remember, I made a video on it a couple days ago, and I bring it up in a video even, I believe, this morning or last night. The Hornets made a statement basically saying that Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers aggressively pursued Mark Williams. That's the only reason why they traded him, and that, because of their pursuit of Mark Williams, they decided to make the hard decision to trade. But now, of course, because it got canceled, they're going to come back. Rob Pelinka comes out and basically says the opposite. He says the Hornets came to him with the Mark Williams offer, not the other way around, despite Charlotte Hornets' recent statement saying that the Lakers pursued Williams aggressively. So there's some even more crazy things going on. You very rarely see GMs kind of going at each other, and this was again in the McMenamin article here. There's just so much back and forth going on. Now, for one, I think the Mark Williams trade was a fantastic trade. Whether or not, I don't think LeBron James has any, I don't think he's upset with the fact that, hey, the Lakers front office traded for a center of their future when they have no center besides Jackson Hayes. They just gave up their best center that they've had in years, right? That's just not something that I think is going to happen. Sure, maybe LeBron James's camp was a little bit upset because he asked for trades for a while. But again, he was one of the biggest contributors in the Anthony Davis trade. And yes, after Anthony Davis and LeBron James said they wanted to make moves, they traded AD. Of course, that's true. But, I mean, the article goes on to basically say that for years, the team wanted to improve the roster. And that's the interesting part. Now, if that is true and that there's some sort of ill will there between the LeBron and the front office, keep in mind, like this tweet says, it seems like the article is trying to pin Doncic and LeBron against each other. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Is there a world where LeBron James's camp now has a little bit of ill will towards the front office? Like, maybe. I do not think that's the case at all, but it is, according to his reporting, it wasn't lost on LeBron James's camp that Pelinka prioritized Doncic's involvement over LeBron's, which, again, he's using words like it wasn't lost on their camp, which means they noticed it, but they didn't complain. A bunch of weird things are going on. And we know that Luka handpicked Mark Williams for Pelinka to land, rather than Pelinka having results to show after his first extended meeting with Doncic at the team's practice facility on February 3rd. When Doncic handpicked Williams for the GM to attempt to land, source familiar with the matter said the first transaction of the partnership defaulted. So it clearly, like I mentioned in previous videos, there was a mutual kind of, benefit between Rob Pelinka and Luka to say, hey, who is the center you want? Someone ideally, under contract for a while, all these different things. And of course, you're going to go out and you're going to try to get that guy. Luka Doncic is the face of your franchise. And I think by David McMenamin, it's very strange reporting. And if what he's saying is true, it's even weirder. However, I'm on the side of thinking, at least personally, and according to other sources as well, like, I don't think LeBron James really cared. It doesn't seem like, maybe his camp internally was a little bit upset, and that seems to be the way that this is trending, but just weird. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. And regarding this, we knew from the jump, Rob Pelinka came out and said that the Hornets was the first ones to call them about Mark Williams. So the trade was, when it comes to the Hornets trying to, finesse the Lakers, it was clear that they were trying to pull a quick one. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Mark Williams is not playing in tonight's game because of an injury. So he played the 3 games prior to the trade. So it's all ridiculous. It's all just wild at this point. You think back to when, again, I covered it in a video a few days ago, Lakers doctor and UCLA doctor, they vetted Mark Williams' injury. Ultimately, they failed the physical. It was good due diligence by the Lakers. And now they have to go ahead with a lineup tonight that includes Luka, LeBron. You have Luka shirts all over the place. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on this strange report. Things are going to get a little bit crazy. The Lakers play in a few hours, and I can guarantee you there's not going to be any ill will, at least on the court, between Luka and LeBron. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.